to Hermit Woods, where there's a story in every bottle. Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy holidays, everybody.
The last show, the last Monday night show of 2022.
Here, let me give you a second one to click together. Oh, there we go.
I like those clicking. Look at all these wine glasses. Well, it's the last show. We have to celebrate.
What was that ad, that Andre or something? Ring in the holidays.
Ring in the... Yeah, the holidays are already here. We're going to ring them out.
Advertisement that did that?
Cheers, everybody. Welcome to our Facebook Live. Another Monday night with the Hermits.
How does this happen? 7 days goes like that.
I know. It does seem like we were just sitting here.
It's a good thing we don't drink in between, so that we just drink on Mondays.
Not a drop.
Not a drop. No, absolutely not. Except on the holidays.
Well, walk.
The holidays, the days that end in Y, those days.
Right. All right. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, we would love it if you would like or share our broadcast with your friends so that you can let others know what we're doing and if they have any interest in the topics that we're talking about.
At the end of the thing, because
we should remind people at the end.
Like it when it's just at the beginning. If they're just here, they haven't heard what we're actually presenting. So if you wait till the end and someone has seen what has happened, then at the end, at the conclusion, you're like, if you really like what happened here, why don't you share it with your friends, like it, do the thing so that they'll be, alerted to the next one. But
how about both?
It's presuming that, they're into it, everything's going to be great, and they're just going to go ahead and like it because
we're awesome.
Well, they don't know that yet. They may not know that.
You guys let us know in the comments. If you are here today, please comment. Let us know you're here. Say hello, and we can say hello back. If you're new to the page, we'd love it if you'd subscribe. Underneath Ken is a subscribe button for YouTube, and under somewhere on the page, and I don't know where the bell is on Facebook, but there's a little.
It was like upper right corner.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a little bell on Facebook. If you click that bell, you'll subscribe to us on Facebook. If you subscribe to our channel, you'll see every time we go live, wherever that might be. Usually on Monday nights, we're right here, although we have ventured off into the world for some of our episodes. We've also gone live from ski areas and oceans and woods and forests and everywhere else. Yeah, racetracks. So who knows? So please subscribe and follow us if you like the conversation that we're engaged with. And we'll remind you at the end to like the broadcast and share it with your friends.
We won't be offended if you don't subscribe until the end.
But please, more than anything, just join into the show. Make some comments, ask some questions. If you ask questions, we'll get to those questions as best we can on the show. If we don't get to them live, Merike will be able to answer them, or we'll answer them at the end of the show.
And definitely in the comments, let us know that you're here. Say hello. Let us know what you're drinking. All of that.
Speaking of drinking, what are we drinking?
Well, so last week we mentioned, maybe we'll show up with our favorite wine of 2022.
Well, we did.
And Bob, you never admit your favorite.
Well,
I know that much about you.
It's the one in my glass.
That's true. And there it is.
That's my favorite.
There it is.
This is the one Ken poured.
But I don't know. This might have been what I chose anyway.
What we have today for our enjoyment while we're speaking to our friends here is that we have one of the last bottles of 2019 vintage of Red Scare, and we have a very soon to be released bottle of 2020 Red Scare. So I thought it was apropos that we're ending 2022, going into 2023, and we're drinking wines from 2019 and 2020.
It's kind of apropos that the 2019 is running out on the end of the year, and
Yeah.
we're opening the
I
next
don't know
vintage.
that that's ever happened like this before.
Yeah, it's
but
kind of
I
cool.
was organizing some stuff in the warehouse. I had planned to bring up the 21 vintage that's in the stone-faced barrels and the regular French oak barrels for us to try that because I need to check up on it anyway. But then I was at the warehouse. I'm like, oh, we're almost out of 19. So why don't we do that?
I like it.
Try it side by side.
I like it. So
There we go. It fit with the end.
we're going to start with that. And we could talk a little bit about these wines, and then we're going to talk about what a big year this has been.
There's a list, folks.
Oh my God.
There's a list.
We have had a really big year, and we're going to go through some of those things. And if you have, if there's certain parts of our year that you participated in that you're particularly excited about, let us know. And if there's things that are particularly,
rode bikes with us.
I know
That was one of the events this year.
That's great. And also if there are exciting things that happened in your life this year, please share those. We'd like to know. So tell us. Let's try these first. I haven't tried them. So we'll try the 19 and the 20 side by side. Never done that before. How about you? Did you do it?
Yeah, you've never had a chance to do this before.
Mm-mm.
What's really fascinating with wine is that it changes drastically when it's put into a little container and left in a bottle to age away. So you've got to remember the 2019 has been in bottle a year longer than the 2020. And so it has gained and modified and matured. So it's always really hard to compare wines vintage to vintage because the one previous or 2 or 3 years previously have more age to them. Each year, the fruit is a little different. So if you're at a vineyard and you're growing Pinot Noir grapes, the same vines have been in the ground for 30 years, and you're harvesting those grapes and you're making wine from them. Even though you use the same technique, the same approach, every year, Mother Nature dishes out a different set of fruit. And you end up making wine, and the wine process concentrates the effects of Mother Nature. So whether it was a wet harvest or a long, dry, hot summer, you're going to taste that in the glass.
Well, there's another variable here that I find continually fascinating, and that is the fact that you, every year, get better at this. Every year. I mean, you've been doing this for 15 years, and there's a lot of experimenting going on, a lot of learning all the time. And so every year, your wine's getting incrementally better every time. And you've done it again.
So are you saying you're enjoying the 20?
You've done it again this year, yeah.
I think it's a little softer already, smoother.
I get more oak, less honey.
More oak, less honey. Interesting.
And I think that the 2019 is fruitier, but I like the diminished fruit that I think I'm discovering, and that could change.
I think the 20's fruitier, but you can't taste it yet because the alcohol is dominating.
Well, that's what I said. It very likely could change.
I think it's going to change a lot. A year from now, when we're trying 21 and 20, the 20 is going to have some fruit that comes out. The 19 I really like because it's finally really nicely integrated. When the 19 first came out, and I remember Matt was bemoaning, oh, the 18 was just such a brilliant vintage. I love it. This 19 can, I don't know. And I think he's come to really enjoy the 19. And it takes time. And especially when you shift from vintage to vintage, you can really taste the difference between those. Anyway, it's always fun to try it. It's a moving target.
Yeah. Well, they're both delicious, and they're both evolving. They're both changing. Did you have a favorite?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get more honey.
Nah, I mean, I like them both. I don't know.
That's good.
They both taste good to me.
They do. They do.
He'd
So-
probably give us a British short rib and we'd be like, they both taste good to me. He's like, oh, what's going on? Can't you taste that?
So 2022.
2022. This is
We did. So yeah, we thought about it a little bit during the week, but then even just this morning, we were like, oh, what do we,
We're ever gonna finish.
yeah, what do we do? And all of us just like, oh, well, there was this, and this. And someone else was like, oh, but also this, and this, and
So,
this,
so
and this.
I tried to organize the list in somewhat of an order so that it
Sort of
made sense, but
chronologically, sort
a
of.
little chronological, but
Little
also
theme-based.
subject-based.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things that I think stood out right out of the gate, we each sort of entered our own ideas of what was important to us this
That was
year.
fun this morning when we were texting.
Yeah, and I appreciated the first thing right out of Ken's gate was your presentation at almost 9 months ago.
That was a big event for
in
me.
March. That was a huge event.
4 talks I gave in one day.
Yeah, that was
They were all in one day.
All in one
Oh
day.
boy.
back to back. Yep, and
I had one break.
it was great. You were putting our wines. One of them, Red Scare, was one of the wines shared. You were putting them out there in front of hundreds of people, and talking about them, talking about how they were made, talking about some of
And I
the.
was presenting with 2 people who are really, kind of the demigods in fruit wine world. They do great stuff, but completely different. One's large-scale commercial all over the place, and another is academic, pulling into, details and chemistry and biology and plant characteristics. And I'm this thing in between, doing my own stuff. So it was really great for the audience and for me and my colleagues to taste and talk about the differences, different approaches to ending up with wine. And we're all calling it wine. We're all there to make good wine. But it was great. It was a great wine.
Do you get to taste the wine as part of the talk?
Oh yeah.
There's a few
That's part
images
of
of
the
the top.
Oh, are there
part of
good?
the great setup that people get to sample and hear about how wines are made. There are a lot of other winemakers or people that want to make wine commercially, and so they're there listening to talks as we are, learning from others in the industry. That's what makes the forum at the Eastern Winery Exposition so fruitful. That you get that opportunity to interact.
And I remember distinctly 2 of the speakers, the 2 that you mentioned, actually commented on how amazed they were
Yeah, it was a great compliment.
at the quality of your wine and the character, which coming from those 2.
Oh, I know.
I mean, you're saying, oh yeah, we got to do this, give these talks with these 2 demigods of fruit wine. They're doing their 22 year in review, and they're like, oh, do you remember when we went to the Eastern Winery Expo and we got to present with Ken Hardcastle? And so great, that guy. He knows what he's doing. He's such a cool guy.
Well, we've been going to the Eastern Winery Exposition now for
Since they started.
probably 8 years.
Okay. They started doing, I think we went we went in 2012, didn't we?
Excuse me. Yeah, it's
I think it was 2012.
10
Yeah,
years. That was their first year. We went to their very first year. 10 years. And we've spoken at this conference many times, so it's a great experience. It's really cool.
It's the second year. I remember sitting in the lobby in a hotel downtown Lancaster, and we decided to go all the way and buy this building.
That's right.
You and Chuck and I decided, are we doing this? Are we going to go? We're going to grow up from the bedroom basement winemaking thing all on our own and actually build a real business.
And we did. Here we
So
are.
you guys have been attending the EWE for years. Have you presented at other conferences, or was this the first one you got to present
the
at?
main one that
It's
we
sort of
focused
the
on.
conference.
But have you presented other years? Was my question.
Yes, we both
Awesome.
presented. Both Bob and I have presented at different times, different years. We've been out to the Unified Conference in California back in 2015 or 2016, which is larger, bigger wine industry on the West Coast, but we didn't present there. We learned a lot there, and we bought a bunch of equipment at that time. We did a deep research, and then we had a chance to interact with lots of great people.
That was a
Good event.
great trip. And the next thing on the list was again coming from you, the release of I think
New
we have
wine.
5 new wines.
Yeah, there were,
Yep,
there
5
were
new
a
wines.
few. I changed up Winnie White a lot and revamped the whole formula.
Oh, made it a
was-
new wine.
It was heavier on the tomato, and now it became heavier on the plum. And I really like that. And I've been able to obtain and maintain a relationship with Brookdale Farm in the southern part of the state here to get this very particular plum called Ozark Plum. I'm going to be releasing in 23 a varietal Ozark Plum wine. Taste it straight up. In addition to Winnie White made like this. And then we did a rosehip mead. Some of the people out there, Priscilla and others may be watching, helped us harvest rosehips.
You did, yes.
Which is really great. Thank you all for that.
There will be more opportunities in the future.
And there will
at the end of August. Every year we need help.
It's about August 10th.
Oh, it's the okay.
Yeah, it depends. Usually I'll go a couple days before that and a couple days after. This season was a little drier and hotter, so we went a little earlier. Berries. Sometimes we've missed some of the biggest, best rosehips because we waited too long. It's hard. I need to put a webcam out on the coast. Maybe Priscilla, when you're bicycling out along the coast, you can check on those. Emily was checking for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, we'll send Priscilla as our recon. She lives a little bit closer.
And then we put out a blackberry mead.
Yep. It's been very
popular. If we had to choose that, if we hadn't had this Red Scare opportunity, that's what I would have grabbed as a glass of. So it's a new wine this year, and might be my favorite mead that we've got now. It's tough with 3 honey, and I always love the crab apple cider, but that blackberry mead is delicious.
I think both the blackberry mead and the rosehip meads were both really exceptional meads.
Yeah. It's fun to be able to do that. That's my mead has really always been a playground for me. That's a lot of fun, and a lot of meaderies do that, which I think is great because it's a place where you can really explore and experiment and do it at a smaller scale. They're not consumed at a much higher rate. You know, people drink a lot of Red Scare, they drink a lot of Petit Bleu, they drink a lot of Rosé. They don't drink a ton of blackberry mead, but it's nice to have that, especially for someone who's looking for a unique wine. Oh, what's this? And then we can describe it to them, and it's something fun and different.
And then the most exciting new release just happened a month ago.
That was the Cirque du Strawberry.
Cirque du Strawberry, and that was exciting on both fronts, both a new reflection on an old wine and an opportunity for us over here in the marketing department to really have some fun.
Full court press on new branding, and it's gorgeous.
It's our first new label in 5 or 6 years. Truly new label.
And it is a standout label.
Besides the cans.
What?
That's true. The cans.
We did about 2 years.
Yep.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. No, the first new wine bottle label that we've come up with since Rosé. Sparkling Rosé was the last bottle that we've changed. Yeah. That was 5 years ago. But yes,
just glancing at it on the shelf or on our wine racks, it pops right off the shelf with that beautiful foil on the top, the pink, it's the gold shininess, the new logo.
So kudos to Deb Lucky.
Yes,
for amazing work. Cheers to a beautiful, beautiful label. Very well done. Very excited. And I think it's just a sign of things to come. We have a lot of new wines coming up that we're going to be thinking about. We have some new partnerships we're going to be talking about shortly. And we have a desire, since we're going to be rebranding, which is also coming up as one of the topics, but we're going to be reconsidering all of our labels, thinking about new ways of presenting all of them. So it's going to be an exciting couple of years working to rethink, because we've got some pretty cool labels. And this being one of my favorites, has been for a long time.
I love that we turned that into a t-shirt. I think that was really fun. I think it was Kirsten's idea, actually. Like, why don't we, it's such a cool bright purple, and
it'd be fun.
It's a fun
change up.
An adaptation.
So actually that's the next thing on the menu is the collaboration. So Stoneface. So that was a great story. So the brewer from Stoneface happened to be here for one of the Saturday morning loft tasting experiences with his relatives, or his wife and I think mother-in-law. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he just had some relatives in this area.
Yeah, and was impressed by our story and what went on, and investigated further, and had a chance to meet with you down in the cellar and learn about some of the wines you're creating. And before we knew it, you and he were negotiating a barrel swap.
Yeah, it worked out great.
Yeah,
Dan came back from the talk with you. I wasn't here that day, but you put us in contact, and then we arranged a few days later. And he came over, and we just camped out down in the barrel room. And we just took the wine thief and sampled, and he smelled them, tasted them. He goes, could I get a couple of those elderberry barrels? I had straight elderberry from making Hermitage.
Yep.
And he's like, I just love that earthy, spicy. I'm gonna put a dark sour in there. It's gonna be awesome. And then he tasted some Red Scare barrels, actually from the 20. And he goes, "Can I get a couple of those?" I said, "Yeah, of course, but can we swap?" And he goes, "Yeah, I've got some barrels." I said, "I don't want sour barrels because I don't want lactobacillus and other strange microbes in the winery." He says, "No, I've got some clean ones. I've got some high gravity beers and some really unique Tennessee whiskey barrels." And I said, "Great. So on the day when I bring you these barrels, I want to bring some wines with me. I want to sample those barrels and I want to compare it to see if my wine tastes good with a little bit of residual of your beer, to see if that works." So Noah and I went down there, and it was 10 o'clock. We got here earlier in the morning. We pushed wine out of our barrels, didn't rinse them, put them on the truck, drove them over there, took them off. They immediately had their beers ready to put into them. So there's no chance that the wine, if you have a whiskey barrel and you take out the whiskey and then you're going to transport it, you don't have to worry about that barrel going bad. Stick a bung in it, let it go. It's, high alcohol.
Soaked in
Nothing's
whiskey.
going to grow in there.
Yeah.
But if you take a wine barrel and you drain wine out of it, you leave a little bit of wine in there and you leave it for a day, 2 days, it's growing funky stuff. And it's going to turn to vinegar real fast, and it's not going to be something you want to deal with. So we drove him right over there. Likewise with his barrels that had beer in them. We couldn't delay either. So it was a long day, but it worked out great. We went there and we sampled the barrels, which were great. And then when we had finished drinking the beer out of it, we had brought Red Scare and we brought Petit Blue Reserve, and we poured a little Petit Blue Reserve in the glass that had residual of the beer and tasted it. It said, "Oh, the one that had stout goes great with Petit Blue, but not with the Red Scare. The one that had the barley wine tastes great with the Red Scare in it, but not the Petit Blue." I said, "Okay, we'll take 2 of those and 2 of those." And we knew what we were going to do when we got back. So he pumped them out into a tank and sprayed them down with sterilizer on the outside, so to make sure there's no microbes that got transported. Those came here, and Noah and I racked wines into those that afternoon. Filled them up, and they're aging downstairs and tasting out great. Dan just reached out. He's going to come by in the next week or 2.
Oh, good.
And
I hope I'm here. I'm
wants
going
to
to be doing
sample
some
them.
traveling.
And then we're going to put you in contact with their marketing department to see how we're going to label.
New labels.
New labels.
That's fun. Matt's asking, sort of with that issue of things going bad really quickly, he's asking if you could sulfur them. I don't know what he means by that. Maybe you do.
So if you're absolutely right, Matt. If you're going to store wine barrels for any length of time, you either rinse them real well and then burn a bit of sulfur mineral in there, creating sulfur dioxide gas, and bug it down so the barrel is dry and full of sulfur dioxide gas. Or you fill it up with water and put a bunch of metabisulfite, create free SO2 in that water, and that will keep that barrel sterile.
But you didn't want to do that because you wanted the active wine ready to interact with the active beer when you got there, right?
Right. So both Dan and I wanted the residual liquid.
Right.
So none of the barrels were rinsed. They swapped establishments and got filled with their respective liquids.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
And
That's
we've
good. So
sampled,
what do
we've
we-
done that comparison already on those between the barrels.
Yeah.
And they're really tasty.
We're 4 to 6 months out on that?
Yeah,
before
well,
we release?
the Petit Blue I've already taken out of barrels because they got enough.
But the rest of the
Tennessee.
world, we'll get to see them in
This summer.
this summer.
But they'll be ready this summer, and Dan's beers will be ready this summer. So
So an achievement of
It's gonna be-
2022 is going to become an achievement of 2023.
2023, we're going to release these very special wines and beers.
So thinking about beer, I feel like this is a good transition because the next thing that we're going to chat about is come spring this past year, we were able to open the garden again over across the street, and we got much more official approval. Last year was just sort of the special use permit. It was like
It's
6
official.
month thing.
3 years.
This year
3 years.
we fought for it. We had to go to a couple of different town meetings. We had to
It was
small
it was a
town
challenge.
New Hampshire can get pretty dramatic at those meetings, and
It sure
and we
can.
did have to fight for it, but we did it,
That was a big
Thanks
achievement.
for a lot of.
Fought for it, it was
We did have a
fun.
lot of fantastic
I learned
support
how
from
many
the
parking
town. I
spots were in
know.
Meredith real quick.
Yeah, a lot of people I think wrote letters on our behalf. Some people got up and talked on our behalf.
Dozens of people wrote letters on it.
Yeah.
It's really, really great to see the support. In fact,
It's amazing, even when you have so much support, how a few people
It just takes one.
Mhm.
hang
It
it
just
out.
takes one. But we did get through it, and that's exciting. The garden will be going forward again this year. But also, this is out of order, but the real achievement this year was we signed up Visacich and Turpin, architect firm, to reimagine with us what 62 Main Street may be in
That
the
is a
future.
big deal. Yeah.
So we were still going to be kind of mums the word on that, but it's exciting. We have
No one has any idea.
no one has a clue.
No one has a
No.
We haven't been hinting at it for the past year.
No, but that's going to be super exciting, and that happened this year. We started with the architect firm. We've met with them many times this year, and started to really start dialing in some of the drawings that are going to eventually become the
Very
the
exciting
vision for
people. Very.
very exciting. Yeah. So 62
When
is
is that going to be public? When are we? What's your
it's public when we go before the town.
And what time frame are you thinking that might be?
We don't know. We got to get the design done first. So once the design is done and we're all comfortable, we know this is the building we want to build, then we send
Stay tuned.
architects to the town. So probably going to be I'm guessing next year.
As in
That's a pretty
2020,
safe bet.
like late,
That's
No.
next week.
No.
like late 2023.
No, I was thinking potentially 2024. We may get lucky.
At least the
Things
initial
may
proposal.
fall into place so we can
It's
put this
gonna be really
together.
hard to hold these rumors at bay
I know.
for
Well,
another year.
that's all right. We can do it.
We could do
we
it.
have wine to
No
drink.
one has any idea.
No one has any idea.
Yeah.
So that's
Long, slow process.
long,
It's
slow
still
process.
a snail.
It gets better that
Still
way.
a snail.
It gets better that way every time. So I did jump on a turn, but then
That is a big deal, though.
now we're talking about the deli. So
The
we
eatery.
That's the
Ruined
thing.
it.
But there we go. Ken jumping ahead. But
Jumping ahead.
No.
Anytime
But that's it.
there's a penalty now. Even
Yeah.
with our accountant, if our accountant says it, he's got to give us each
we should start a not a swear jar, a deli.
That's what we did. We
a
started
deli
one with our
jar.
accountant. It's $10
Yeah.
every time.
Was it 10?
Yeah.
Because
He suggested a buck,
since
but I
what
Up
20,
the ante.
2017 is when we opened the
All
deli
the
at
spreadsheets
Hermit
say
Woods.
Deli on it.
So in all of our
2022.
bookkeeping, in all of our labels, on our website, in our retail system,
Everything.
everything's labeled as deli. But now we're an eatery, and that officially
Because
changed
deli,
this
we never
spring.
really were a deli, but we couldn't come up with a proper word at the beginning anyway.
It's
So
tough to
about
find the right
time.
word.
It's going to
Yeah,
be a difficult transition, but we're an eatery.
Well, there's one thing for sure. You can eat here.
This is true.
You can't eat
You can do that.
So you'll never be able to argue
Nope.
as to whether or not we're an eatery. We're clearly an eatery.
well, and
And so
we
it's-
made some changes that made us more of an eatery this
Yeah.
year. I feel like I want to get Travis in here. Travis, stop.
Yeah. So, well,
This is
one of
Travis's
those
part.
changes, January 2nd or 3rd last year.
That was really the first thing we did.
Yeah.
Beginning of this year
Yeah.
was to
Expand.
really expand your whole area.
Yeah, true. Came up, 15 feet or so? Expanded from like a little thing to a bigger thing.
Yeah.
It's getting
It
there.
was no small feat. You started with us only in October
yeah.
of 21,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Was it 21?
4 months later,
Yeah.
it gets a whole new.
Yeah, that's what I
kitchen.
was saying. That-
Dude, wow.
And he had to
After rolling
design
it down, I
it.
was like,
He had
guys,
to design
come on, I
it.
need more space here.
Don't finish it because you're going to cheers to the new kitchen.
Oh, hold
We'll
on.
have to pour some more.
Oh man,
No, oh no. All right, make sure we're going in the right class here.
2 whole bottles for 4 of us. That should work.
Oh, it'll work just fine. First half hour. All right, we're
we
good.
are half an hour through, but we're making pretty good, steady progress.
Maybe. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new kitchen
Yeah.
and the eatery. That was a huge achievement for
Cheers.
for this year. That was
Yeah.
probably one of the biggest.
Yeah. And then
And you served
transition.
a lot of food this year.
Yeah. We did a lot of food.
We broke records all year long.
Yep. Yep.
Well, because we of course we increased the number of tables
Right.
with this happened in 2021.
Yeah.
This space, which added 60 seats.
Yeah.
But then the patio.
And then the patio, which is, it's right in here. Oh, I jumped ahead there, so we can skip over Ms. H. Turpin Architects because we were talking about that. The patio. We built the patio in the spring of to, and right before Memorial Day, we cut it right down to the last few
Just
days.
in time.
Yep.
And we added, what, 50 seats out there or something thereabouts? So you turned our little deli, order at the counter deli, into a proper restaurant with 120 seats.
Yep.
So you did need a bigger kitchen, didn't you?
Yep.
Oh, that was a big transition. And in all of that, we decided to go full service.
Full table service.
Yep.
In May of 2022. What were we thinking?
If you have a restaurant,
We weren't
if you have a
thinking.
restaurant, if you have an eatery with 150 seats, you don't want people coming up to a checkout counter,
Nope.
giving them a ticket, and say, go sit whatever you want.
We wouldn't have had room for the line.
I know. So we had to do that.
The line would have went down Main
We had to
Street.
Figure it all out.
Yep.
That was exciting. I mean, that all happened very rapidly.
Yep.
We put that kitchen in January, but it took a few months after the kitchen went in to sort of evolve that space, to learn the space, to learn how
It's
to,
really good. We have young, sharp people doing all this stuff.
with lots of energy.
Marike and Travis, you guys just rocked it this year because so many transitions. We're just like, well, okay, let's do this, let's do that. Off we go. It's like, okay, figure it out, guys. And you guys figure it out. And
We had
it's
some really great
awesome.
stuff.
You have a great group of people, but you guys are leading them, and you've done a fantastic job. Really
It was kind of great having, we had a few staff on already that had actually worked as servers before, and we were able to sort of use their knowledge in sort of training, and we brought in a couple people to sort of help out sort of with that transition, because we were close to it. We were already almost there. You would still order at the counter, but we brought your food to the table. We would come and check on you. We would bus your table afterwards. So we were almost there.
None of us had ever actually done it.
Nope.
None of us had run a restaurant. None of us had ever actually waited on a table
You've
before.
never actually run a winery before. I've never actually
No.
commercially made wine before.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I served a
No doubt
table in
about it.
culinary school 10 years ago.
There you go.
There you go. He's a pro. But we survived. We
Well, you
survived.
liked food up a mountain before, so you got the service model
That's
in
true.
your
I
head
mean,
already.
I served in the huts, but that's a very
You
different.
know everybody's gonna love the food there, no matter
Well,
what it is.
Hey, all of you out there, you know, how have we done? You've been here, you've eaten here, you've had the experience. Have we made it happen? I mean, it's at the end of the day, really all that matters is, do the people that come in here and enjoy our service, do they enjoy it? Do they find the food good? Do they find the service
You
good?
looked at the posts and feedback.
That's all that matters. So we
Yes, indeed.
have some bugs to work out. We're constantly growing, constantly learning, constantly figuring things out. So we'll continue to improve that. But huge,
As soon as we
huge
figure one thing out, we'll
strides.
have a new thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, first we'll figure something out and be
We're
like,
gonna
all right,
try
it's
and-
time to move this
we're gonna-
to that and this to
We're going
that.
to try and calm down for 2023 though, because there's so much. Wait till we finish this list.
Calm down.
Nah.
You saw it changing up. You get a new menu, and it's like, I think I'm going to double it up, Ken. I'm going to do this. I'm going to give people a choice on the free thing.
Well, and speaking of the new menu, Travis really doubled down this year on farm to table.
Mhm.
Tell us about that.
Hold on.
Gotta rinse the crackers down.
Freaking cracker.
We're working with Picnic Rock.
So we're working with Picnic Rock, Beans and Greens, and as of the end of this year, I added Brookford Farm, which is in Canterbury back.
Oh,
So
they're in Canterbury.
Yeah.
We've been kind of on and off with them
Mhm.
over the years.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're in really good touch and order, and then sometimes sort of lose touch with them. I'm glad you're back.
yeah, so I added them so we could have 3 different local purveyors to work with. Obviously, we still will work with Black River and Reinhardt, but
Black River sources from lots of different.
they source from 400 local farms in New England, but it's nicer to support New Hampshire within a couple 10, 20 miles, whatever it may be.
Oh, I love it. When
Yeah.
You can just go right here to
Yeah,
Picnic Rock.
yeah.
and-
I love going on trips to Picnic Rock. Wardbird is one of the funniest people I've ever met. I just go down there sometimes. He's like, all right, what do you need now? I'm like, I need this and this. He goes, all
Take
right.
some rutabagas.
He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. One time I went down to go pick onions. He gives me a knife. I'm start cutting onions out of the ground. And then he texts me about 2 hours later, you got my knife? I'm like, oh, yeah, it's in my pocket. Sorry. I run back the next day, bring it back to him. I'm like, sorry, man.
That kind of connection, those kind of stories are what make all of this stuff real.
Yeah.
That's what makes
So what does that? What does farm to table mean to you? What does it mean to our guests?
So farm to table means you source locally. You help the small farmer out instead of going to the big box stores or the bigger people. You can go to Cisco. You can get anything from Cisco or any of these big like broad line.
Anytime.
What? Anytime. Yeah, any time of the year. So and the menus that I'm developing and the way the way the menus kind of go is that we go with what the farmer has. We go until, the menu changes when they run out of things. So this summer, zucchinis and summer squash ran out as our menu in the summer was running out. It switched right then. He doesn't have it, or they don't have it. We don't use it.
It makes sense too. I mean, eating fresh strawberries in January is just weird. I mean, yes, you can get them.
Yeah, you can get them.
Modern diesel-soaked commerce system that we have, but it makes so much more sense.
One of the things that
in season.
Yeah, one of the things that's kind of exciting and it is evolving. It's like the leaf farms down in Concord. So through greenhouses, we're actually expanding what can be grown locally from literally local farmers using technology. So we do have a little bit broader breadth than we used to have 100 years ago. Yeah. But still, it is smart. Let's eat the food that's here rather than drive it around from Mexico or from other parts of the world.
I think it's healthier too, just from like all the other mammals on the planet. You eat with what's available in season at that time. So you're in sync with how the biosphere is evolving and changing. Humans have the ability to just blast that all out and have the same McDonald's burger every single day. But I think it's much better to eat with what's available
with the season.
Yeah, and the ingredients are better because, like I said, like pulling it right out of the ground and then cutting it up 20 minutes later. Perfect. It's a little better than it's sitting on a truck or sitting in a warehouse for a month and a half and then showing up at your door. So.
And you did this in Europe, right? I mean, that's.
In Europe, one of the most amazing things that I discovered when I lived in France for a year is the kitchen and the refrigerator were really, really small, especially the refrigerator. Because the markets were on every corner with fresh vegetables wherever you went, fresh food, fresh meat, and you buy and eat that day. You buy what you're going to use that day, every day.
It makes sense. You've picked an apple off a tree perfectly.
Yeah,
well. I mean, it's the best day. Or tomato. It's the best.
The tomatoes. I think the tomato is the sort of epitome of this. That the Bob's tomato sandwich is on our menu every summer. But only in the summer. And it's a favorite. It's a simple, wonderful, classic sandwich, just tomatoes, mayonnaise, salt and pepper on that lovely peasant bread from the bread peddler.
That came from the very beginning of the winery.
And we will not serve it in the off season. Once we can't get those fresh tomatoes, it's just not right.
Because a tomato sandwich made from a tomato brought from Mexico just does not taste the same. No. It just doesn't. No. There's nothing you can do about it. No. So we got to move on. So and the other thing I'm really excited about, the kitchen has really filled out. You just brought Stephanie up. You have official sous chef.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Jack is really strutting his stuff. Yeah. He's cooking back there. Mm-hmm. So we have the most full kitchen that we've had ever. And a lot of thanks to you, Travis. You sort of brought that together over the last year.
Good morale back there. You see kitchens, you see places, everybody's just like screaming at each other and throwing pots and pans around. You guys are upbeat. You're creating new things. You're talking. That's a healthy environment.
Mm-hmm. You never see the angsty chef back there, even on those crazy days where it gets really backed up and things. Right. You all work together really well back there, and it's so fun. Actually,
yell it. A lot of chefs have a tendency to yell and get mad, and I
doesn't help.
I don't know. Going from Plymouth State where you're doing like 3,000 meals, that's a lot, and then coming here, it's like it's more made to order and you're doing it repetitive go. With Plymouth State, it was kind of like, okay, prep a lot and then kind of hang out and wait. But here it's a go. But going there and doing all of that, it levels your head and it makes you not like, I don't know. I've never been an angry person. So
I'll never forget that early on, when you first few weeks here, few months here, whatever, first part of your time here, something went wrong. I don't remember what it was. Doesn't even matter. And I went to you and I said, "What's up? What happened?" And you said, "I'm sorry, I let you down." And it turned out not too long after I found out that you had nothing to do with what happened. That actually somebody else in the kitchen had made a
But he's
mistake,
taking ownership.
and you took full ownership. And I was so impressed by that moment because it really it showed your leadership, and it does. The buck stops with you, right?
Yeah.
It's your kitchen.
Yeah,
So
right.
why dump on all of the staff who are working for you
Right.
when it's your kitchen,
Yep.
right? And I think that was really admirable of you. So it was a really positive moment in your.
Well, now everything moving forward is Stephanie's fault. No, I'm just kidding.
But it's great, sort of giving Steph that title
Nope.
and said,
Nope, can't do that.
No. Travis wouldn't do it.
I don't do
It's
that.
just
Nope.
not in his style.
Nope.
but it is great that, yeah, sort of giving Steph that title and kind of pulling her up, it gives her more sort of authority and more freedom to sort of take ownership of that. And she's stepped up in a fantastic way. She's always been there to step up when we need her, and it's great. And I love,
No, we got a great.
our kitchen
great staff all
team
the
is
way around.
fantastic.
So the other big thing. So in the midst of all of this, in May, after adding 120 seats, going to full table service with the increased kitchen size and getting the garden open and all of this
We
craziness.
had to get everything set up so that we could go live with iPads and do all the new tipping
Yeah.
and take care of all that stuff and printing out the seats and
Top of all of that,
tables out.
we decided to open a music venue. I think it was May 19th, Wangari Farhari. If it wasn't the 19th, it was within a day or two. Wangari Farhari actually opened the act, which is kind of fitting because she was our first act on our stage in our listening room. We've had 29 acts take the stage since then, and Wangari was the 29th, coming back to Hermit Woods for the second time.
And that show the other night was
Amazing.
way out there.
It was amazing.
She was way out there. It was just amazing. An amazing event.
So, I mean, it's staggering to think with all of it was on our plate as we opened up our summer that we brought that on, and which added, to the kitchen. You had to figure out how do we serve people during this event.
Yeah.
We had to stay open later. We kept, and then piano night. We started piano night, and we started staying open later on Friday night and on Saturday night. And so again, adding to an already complex situation, and then we put that on the agenda. And, but it's been great. We have entertained literally hundreds and hundreds of people here. Some of the most amazing acts from all over New England and beyond have performed on this stage, and it's just getting better and better every time. It's really, really been outstanding. I hope you can make it to a show. We're going to every other week, starting January 5th will be our last weekly show, and the next show will be January 19th. And until April, we're going to be every other week, and we'll return to a weekly schedule when we come to the peak season, summer season.
It's fun. It's been interesting sort of, having that later hours. We've been sort of tweaking the menu a little bit, and do we have a prefix menu? Is that on there?
Nope.
But
But we'll get to it.
that's a new thing, just sort of more dinner options. And it's only in the past year or two that we've been thought of as a restaurant anyway. But now we're not only switching it from being thought of as a place you can stop by for lunch and charcuterie to a place you can go for dinner. And that's new as well.
Dinner and a show.
Dinner and a show.
Including, we've had Justin McKinney's played here twice, the pretty well-known comic in our area, and
Charcuterie classes here.
charcuterie classes. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot coming up. We got movie night coming up again. We started movie nights here last year, and next year we're going to bring them back for
You bring your popcorn?
January.
Oh yeah, that's here.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best part.
All right, we've got.
Yeah, we got to move on here.
That's true.
So-
We got 15 minutes left. We're doing pretty well.
We're doing pretty well. We're going to make it. So now we're going to get to some more sort of rudimentary things. These were no small things. I will never forget the picture Ken sent me when our dumpster truck pulled up to empty one of our bins and created a trough all the way through our driveway, basically caving all of the pavement into gravel. And
It's interesting. It dawned on me. All that runoff that's coming down the hill and going on the pavement, that used to go underneath our driveway.
Oh.
That's where it went. That's where all that water went. Down below there. That's why that was always
So
a
soft.
sponge cake every spring.
well, one way or another, it was no longer practical.
No.
The dump trucks
No, I couldn't ride
could
it.
no longer get in.
It's
The
a forklift.
forklift couldn't drive on it without sinking in to the morass. And we eventually had to bite the bullet, and we replaced our rear parking lot. And didn't just replace it, but we dug it up down 12 inches and put new gravel underneath, and it really looks nice. It's nice and
picture,
level.
Bob.
There's no more lip coming into the building. Yeah, that was a huge thing. But no small thing to have to get done in the middle of the summer of 2022. That we started down that road in June, I think.
It took place in the
Took
fall.
about 3 months to get it all done. And then, we knew this was coming because last year our furnace blew out, and we had no way to heat the building. Thankfully, that was in the spring, so we were in the final days of cold temperatures, so we kind of snuck by last year. But we weren't going to get away with it another year, so we had to replace our furnace, and that was done, a couple months ago. So that was exciting. And these are, you don't think of these things when you come to a restaurant or you come to a winery.
It's much more sort of backside of
the furnace or the pavement.
People don't have to worry about
No.
that. They just need to come in and enjoy yourselves. We've taken care of all the details.
What's one thing though?
There are a lot of
I'm thinking
hotels.
the next topic is something that people are going to be seeing. People have seen some hints of this already, but as part of the expansion to next door is partially what spurred this, I think. And we've been open for 10 years and we've changed so much in those 10 years. And now we have this music venue. We have plans for across the street. We have the patio. We have the garden. We're a different place than we were 10 years ago.
Well, that's just it.
And so-
10 years ago, we created a brand that represented who we were in my master bedroom.
Yeah,
at
you
my
and Chuck and I
house.
made it up.
Yeah.
We made it up.
So we hired somebody back then to come to envision what this brand might look like and how it might serve us as a winery in a bedroom. Well, that brand served us well for 10 years, transitioning through winery in a bedroom to winery in Meredith,
Winery, eatery, loft.
adding deli, then eatery, then loft and music venue, and then soon something else next door. So this brand has served us well for 10 or 12 years. 12 years, I guess it's been.
This is really good now. You should try these side by side again because they've changed.
They've changed.
a lot in the last
Being open, yeah.
I mixed my glasses,
Especially
I'll
the-
admit.
younger ones.
I poured in the wrong one.
But
So-
you're right, it's changed drastically, and it's been a fascinating process and a long process. It was the fall of 2020 that we brought Deb and Paul in to start discussing
Wow.
this whole
I
process.
can't believe it's been that long.
And they came here and started picking our brains about ideas, and they wanted to figure out who we're about, where we're going, how do we think about our business, what's important to us, what are we, who are we?
Who are
What do
we?
do?
Well, exactly.
And they got their head around it somehow. And then started the process way earlier this year to try to visualize that and articulate that in words. And we're close to finally unveiling, and we've unveiled a little bit of it.
It takes a long time.
It's a
The
long-
snail is a really appropriate
It's been a year.
logo for us.
It's been over a year.
It's been over
this
a year.
process.
But nonetheless, time results in better quality every time. Every
It
time.
just gets better with that.
Gets better with time. So it's super exciting. You
And
guys have
you've had a
seen-
lot of fun.
you
You've
can
seen some
see the,
previews. I'm going to show some previews on the slideshow now of some of the photo shoots that have gone along with this rebranding.
Well, if you're on Facebook, you've seen our new
That's
logo.
true. Yeah. And yeah, the new logo is already out there on Facebook. It's on our new labels on the Cirque du Strawberry. So you've seen that. It's still a snail. We're never going to get rid of the snail. I think that's safe to say. The snail is staying, but we've sort of reworked it a little bit, changed it. It's a little quirkier, I think.
Updated the snail a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
But there's also, you've had some fun with some different photo shoots
Yeah.
that are going to go along with this.
Oh, look at Travis, our chef, with his long mustache. We've shaved it
His
off since
mustache,
then,
yeah.
but yeah. So we worked with Deb and Paul out of New York. They re-envisioned with us who we were going to be in the next 10 years, kind of thinking about what's happening in the future, and then came up with a way to articulate the new message, who we are and what we're about.
You're just so proudly contrarian.
Proudly contrarian. Yes. That has a lot to do with it.
Lots of adventuring.
That is actually the new our new tagline going forward will be proudly contrarian. And I think any of you who have been watching us for any length of time at all fully understand what that means. There's no doubt. So, but this is not going to come to its full expression until probably spring of this year. Hopefully that's when we get it done. So you will start to see that evolve. She's sharing some pictures of some of the fun stuff that we've used to create our new brand. And then
really fun for Chuck and I in this process, because you have marketing and advertising business. You've been around the block with all this stuff. Chuck and I have no clue. And to go into this whole process of people asking us questions and then to go stand around in some gymnasium and have them take pictures with fans and fishing line and this chaos that took place was a crazy event, but it's brilliant at the same time. Could you see the results? It's like, oh, that's how it works.
it's amazing. I can't wait to share. We're just starting to redo our website now. That'll be the full release of our brand when the new website has been fully developed. We'll turn that
That'll be
on,
great.
and you'll get to see the.
We'll have some new merch too.
Oh yes, we're gonna have some fun new merch.
Marike's
chomping at the bit
I cannot wait for some of
to
that.
release.
We did a
merch.
little bit. We got new Christmas ornaments this year.
Yep.
They're
Those
still,
are cool. That's
I
the
guess
new
we're
logo.
technically past the season, but that's fine. You can get them all year round.
We
But
can use them
we
as
got
something
some-
other than a Christmas
our new
ornament, too.
snail is now on Christmas ornaments available at the
You're
winery.
gonna get some cookie cutters, maybe?
Or maybe just ornaments.
Yeah,
Doesn't
ornaments.
have to be a Christmas one.
That's true.
There's nothing about
You can
that.
hang it anywhere.
You can hang it
Does
anywhere.
that.
You can hang it anywhere.
There you go. So moving along, we were featured in a full-page expose in the Union Leader. It was our first really full story about us in the Union Leader, New Hampshire's largest paper. That was very exciting. That happened a few months ago, and this is huge. This comes as part of some of the developments in the kitchen and going to full service. But this year we raised the base salary at Hermit Woods to $17 an hour. Think about it, $17 an hour.
That's a lot for servers.
For servers.
That's the key thing. 'Cause
Starting.
a lot of places, your base rate as a server is the minimum wage. I believe is between
$7.25.
No, but the
No,
minimum wage
for
for
a
tipped
server, it's
employees.
like
For servers, it's
3.25.
between 3 and 4.
3.25. Yep.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of places in the area that will maybe start servers at 5, but still, that's $5 an hour.
Right, so you're totally dependent on your tips.
Totally dependent on it. Which means, on a Saturday night in the summer, sure, you're going to get a lot of great tips. You're going to make good money. But on a Tuesday in January, if you don't get any tables because
Not only
it's
that,
a Tuesday in
people that
January in
actually
Meredith,
make
you're in
it
big trouble.
All happen. Someone who's washing the dishes, someone who's prepping the floor, someone that's taking care of making it happen, they get a starting salary of 17.
It's exciting. It's
really
really
Yeah.
exciting. And it's something that's been important to us since the beginning is we really want to, we want to support our team in the same way we support each other in the same way we grow and profit from the development of this business. We want to share that
Right.
with everybody who helps make it.
And that'll just keep growing. That'll just keep growing.
So the last three areas that we're going to talk about here before we get into sort of outside the winery is this show itself. We started the show in March of 2020 as a way to stay in touch with our audience
Right.
that we lost for 3 months. We closed the winery, and that was probably the hardest 3 months probably of my life. It was a really,
That was a
really
tough time.
difficult time in so many ways.
I think for everybody all around the planet.
Sure,
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Everybody's in whatever capacity they were in any situation. The pandemic was a serious retrospective wake-up call. Wow, what's
Yeah.
going on here? We're all in this together. It was, I think collectively, it helped a lot of people understand that we are all in this together.
Mm-hmm.
And it spawned the opportunity for us to get together this way, virtually.
And it's been
every
great. And we've, every week we're like, like and subscribe, gain new followers, share new people. And we have expanded a lot, and I think we've gained a lot of new followers over these few years. But we've got this core group, and you're the folks that have been commenting the whole time. So sort of a shout out to, I guess, to you, yes,
all you guys
that join us virtually every week, or and virtually sometimes after the fact, but also physically. We've had people here as a live audience a few times for tasting some library wine. We've also got some pictures here of people joining us outside the winery. We've done I think folks have gotten together even without us. They've done some paddling and canoe trips, and we did a fantastic bike ride last summer over in Wolfboro.
We need
the triple bike.
We need to expand that. So
we're gonna expand that.
Let's come up with a date for a ski trip.
Oh yeah, great.
Let's have a club ski trip.
Oh, awesome.
Maybe we'll contact Bretton Woods or Ken and see if we can get them to give us a break on a number of tickets, on a group rate. See if we can get a group of us to come. So we'll pick a date, maybe in February.
Yeah, we'll work on that. We need your help, folks, getting that scheduled. But yeah, we've got some pictures here of a really fun bike ride that we took with Matt and Lynn and Priscilla and on your triple bike. Yeah. And then afterward, we met up with Christine and her husband, and that was a great time. Got some good group.
We got to do that more this year.
We did that on a Monday. We did the ride during the day, and then they came here in the evening for the Facebook Live.
Right, yeah, it was a whole day of it.
And so we would do the same thing. We would go for a ski on a Monday, and then do the Facebook Live from the pub or from wherever at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And they'd be there.
So tune in sometime this winter. We're going to plan a ski trip for all of you who like to ski.
And then we need to do a paddling thing.
A paddling thing.
Out to Sunset Rock.
Out to Sunset Rock.
On a Monday,
Absolutely.
And we go live from Sunset Rock.
Yeah. So
everybody.
That's a great idea.
That's sort of our thanks to
bring,
our core crew here.
A bunch of kayaks.
He'll bring 42 kayaks. He's got a lot. I don't know. He's got a lot. He told me about it.
It's so nice to have such a group of people.
In some ways, it's sort of the crown jewel of this year. This past couple of years really is getting to a place where we get to have this conversation with you every Monday, and it's really fantastic. Much appreciated. It inspires me. It inspires me to want to get here, want to come up with the conversation and.
Oh, I know it's just for the.
Well, and the wine.
It is awful fun. Sometimes, well, I'm going to say I'm honored that I've gotten to be a part of it. You know, the first year or so, I sometimes gave suggestions. I sometimes helped a little bit, but I was sort of on the other side. I would tune in. But then the past year, I've gotten to be here every week as sort of the moderator and keep you two in check. But you do still go rogue on weeks sometimes. Sometimes it's on Monday night, but sometimes it's elsewhere. Sometimes you go rogue and you broadcast from other things because you guys do.
Remember
on
the new
occasion.
brand?
What was that?
Proudly Contrarian.
Proudly Contrarian, shoot. Because you guys do get out and you're not always here at the winery. You're here an awful lot. But it is great when you and Bob and Ken and Chuck get out and get to do things away, which is the three of them. So that's sort of our closing topic is the sort of outside the winery things that you guys get into. There's a few goodies.
Year, and next year's going to be even better.
Oh, so many fun things to experience. And it's all part and parcel because these experiences are part of what makes this experience better. It's part of what keeps us.
This process.
It's what keeps us together, keeps us engaged. 80%, 90% of the conversation that we have when we're off traveling, skiing, boating, whatever it is we're doing, ends up being
racing,
about
motorbikes
with our microphones now,
talking about
what's going
the future of the winery, the eatery, the music venue, whatever. We're off on these adventures together, talking about how to make this a better place. So there is integral to the success and future of Hermit Woods Winery.
So talking about that, the ice is really getting good right now, everywhere, and I saw a bunch of people on their ice skates with those sails being dragged along. We've got like 2 days to do this. We've got to find a place to rent those sails. Chuck is back tonight. Wolfgang, I'm sure, will be into it. We've got to go get.
Where? The lakes aren't frozen yet.
Yeah, they are.
Where?
Right off of 104. What's the lake as you about halfway out to
Winona?
No, beyond what's past Winona.
No, that's Winona. Oh, there is a little one. There's one more that goes just past Pemigewasset.
It's the little one.
Yeah, it's the Pemigewasset Lake.
Past the diner.
Yeah.
Right by the diner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're out there with their sails. They've done it out back here too on Walkie Wand. And that's
Is walking one frozen?
It is frozen now. It was frozen and it got all broken up with the wind, and now it's frozen again. A couple of days.
Oh, because if you've subscribed, you've seen us go live from the ice. Because every year we try and get out on the ice once or twice before the snow flies.
What if we can do this when we go dead? That's a little different than going live. Really pushing.
Go dead. Who's doing that?
I don't know. I mean, we're on the edge sometimes.
Well, that thin ice. We're on thin
Literally.
ice.
Oh, thin ice. That's right.
So some of the exciting things, in addition to what Ken's just talking about, is this year for the first time, the three of us, Ken, Chuck, and I, rode our motorcycles on a track down in Massachusetts, which was absolutely amazing. Palmer, Mass. If you are into motorcycles,
Or cars.
Or cars, but this was a motorcycle trip, and we went live from the track. I don't know how many of you were able to see that, but that was one of the most amazing experiences of a lifetime. In the fall, we put Chuck's sailboat in Narragansett Bay, and we went live from the boat. That was a rocky experience, but we did get it done.
We've got to get better cell service.
We do got to figure that out.
But sometimes we're out there doing these things and we don't have a strong signal.
That's what it
And
is.
that's a problem.
So that was a highlight this year, sailing Narragansett Bay, and
We realized how small Chuck's boat is.
Brings you closer together.
Because they were gigantic yachts.
oh, there's
there.
a picture. Did you show the picture of the Chuck's boat next to the massive yachts
I
down
don't
in
know if there's a
Newport?
picture of that. Is that what
There
this
is
one is?
one.
Showing up with like,
Keep going. Keep going.
Is
Yeah,
that the
there's a
one?
good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, so you see that tiny boat. Is
the
that Chuck's?
tiniest boat. That's Chuck's, of course.
Okay, all
You
right.
can spot it
Looks like
from
a
a mile
genie.
high. But keep going. Couple more. No, the other way. You're going the wrong way, or maybe not. I don't know which
I
way you
don't know.
started.
I don't think there is one. I think you missed that.
You sure?
Yeah, because there's motorcycles and then there's the boats.
Keep going.
and
More. One more. Yeah. Keep going.
That's it.
Nope.
That's it.
Nope.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh, well, I mean, there's a cruise ship in the background of that last one, but that's it. That's the end.
Oh, I thought I put it in there. Anyway, there's a picture of Chuck's boat, which most of the boats in the harbor were about 25 to 30 feet wide.
Oh, that's how long Chuck's is, isn't
And
it?
Chuck's is 22 feet.
Yeah,
So we're
yeah.
going along these sailboats. His sailboat isn't even as long as most of the boats in the harbor were wide.
So I'm
It's
sure
pretty
you're hoping to
insane.
get out again this spring and summer. We've got some recommendations. Karen would love for you to come down to Connecticut and bring her some wine, as would Christine would like you to get to Rhode Island. We can't ship to either of them down there. So they would really
Yes,
love
well, we
if
were
you
in Rhode
just
Island.
deliver by sailboat down to Connecticut and Rhode Island this year. Just an idea.
Oh, we'll have to see about that. You
We'll
know, it
put
is.
that up.
It is
He's
sort
getting
of.
the rudder fixed because we had a very exciting moment. The last
Oh,
day of
yes.
sailing, we're on this nice, strong wind. The sun is setting. We're ripping all the way across the bay back to where we're supposed to go. Bob is on the rudder. The sails are full. We're just, and then all of a sudden we're spinning in a circle, and Chuck and I are looking at Bob like, "What's going on?" He's like,
Bob did it.
it. And the rudder broke.
Clean off.
Clean up in the middle of the bay.
How'd you get
was
back?
exciting.
It was very exciting. We had a motor.
Oh,
So once the boat stopped spinning, we pulled the sails down real quick and turned the motor on, and that got us back. It was made for a hairy exit from the final day because we were in a full-on storm.
I've never seen Chuck so focused. You drove the truck around.
I got some
sat on the
drone
boat,
footage
yeah.
of you guys coming in. That was right before the
Got
clouds
it.
unleashed a deluge of rain.
That's right. We're ahead of this, just barely ahead
It
of the
was for
storm.
very exciting moments. So that
That's
covers.
right. Yeah, I was gonna say we're 5 over.
Yeah,
You know
we're
what's
fine
fun
over,
too
so-
on this, all the future adventures, is that Bob just invested in a new video sphere.
Oh yeah,
It
there's gonna be
collects
some fun
imagery
videos
360
forthcoming.
degrees simultaneously all the time. So we went skiing
Chuck
with
and
this the other
Ken
day.
can't escape me from now on.
You hold this thing, the pole disappears, and it's
It's amazing. It's like you've got a video crew with you,
Yeah,
but you're just holding it like a selfie.
yeah.
I'll share the
It's
video. I'll put the
Yeah, put the video.
I'll put the video up for everybody to watch. It's a fun video of our last ski trip. And And that's a good place to end this, because we did talk about having a ski trip with you. So whoever out there is interested in joining us,
You'll be on a 360.
we're going to put together a club ski trip. And yes, you'll be live. You won't be able to avoid us because it'll be a 360-degree camera. So I hope you can join us. And if not the ski trip this winter, then a bike trip next fall, or a kayak trip next spring, or a kayak trip this summer, something like that. So, but it's been a really exciting year, probably our biggest year ever since we started.
Always. Every
Thank
year.
you, everybody out there, for supporting
Which
us.
makes the challenge for this coming year, because 23 is going to be bigger than 22.
Of course, every
Imagine
time.
what this list gonna look like next year. It's gonna be front and
We have
back.
so
no.
many people creating
We're gonna
new
have to do
ideas.
don't know
a
if I got
special. We'll do
another
have to do
Gonna
a
be
special
front and
edition
back next
2-hour
year.
show
It's
for
gonna be
next
on
year.
both
That's right.
sides. Travis
But-
just
but
nailed
next-
it down. It's
next
gonna be
week-
both sides.
Next week
This
is
time
next
of year.
year,
There you go.
so we're gonna see you all next
There you go. Start working
year.
on it.
Yes.
I think we get Travis back next week. Isn't that what I heard?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Next week, we know what we're doing. You're cooking our prefix menu, right? Wait, is this the
Yeah.
prefix we're doing for the Thursday show, or is
Thursday
this a
show.
new prefix?
No,
show?
this is for the Thursday show. So this is the Thursday show that you can get when you come in and see a show with us. And then we are tasting things away from the Friday and Saturday one for piano.
nice.
Highly recommended. I had the prefix on
delicious.
night on Thursday.
Get wine to pair with it.
Fantastic.
Small
You sit
bites.
down, it's all laid out. It's a 4-course meal with 3 different samples of wine. It's just great.
Well, and
Fantastic.
next Monday, Travis is going to prepare that meal for us on the show. So we got a
Yeah.
cooking show for you
I
next
won't be
week.
here, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Well, we'll be here. More for us.
That's a good point. Maybe you'll be able to tune in from somewhere
I'll tune in.
and look at the great food
Maybe in
on
Rochester.
the internet. So thank you all.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for
Thank you
tuning
all.
in,
Happy
everybody.
2022.
Happy New Year.
Next time we will see some of you, it will be 2023.
Right.
So,
Cheers.
cheers to
So
all of you.
if you did stick through it with us the whole
she's
time,
remembering.
and
He
you're
didn't
still on,
remember, so I win the bet.
tap that bell down there, like our broadcast, subscribe
Share
to
it
us.
with your friends.
Share with your
it's
friends.
Now it makes sense. Was this fun? Did you like it?
This is why
We all
Tika's
liked it.
here. She has to keep
I'm
us
here.
in line.
Cheers, everybody.
Well done.
Thanks to
Cheers.
a great 2022.
Cheers.
See you next year.